Imagine you're scrolling through your favorite social media app just like any other day. Suddenly, you come across an ad for something you were just talking about or thinking about. Sounds familiar, right? You might think it's just a coincidence, but what if it's not? What if social media is actually keeping an eye on you?
Social media is a very powerful tool.
Social media is spying on you.
Meta are spying on you.
Facebook is definitely watching and listening.
That TikTok is actually spying on you. Reddit user even showed a picture of TikTok using their microphone, even if they weren't recording anything.
Now you might be wondering, does social media spy on you? And if it does, how does it do it? And most importantly, what can you do to keep your private stuff private? But before we get into all that, let's take a step back and figure out how social media collects your data. In the world of social media, there's a lot happening behind the scenes. When you join social media, you usually click agree on the long and boring terms and conditions because they're filled with complicated legal stuff that's hard to understand. But that's exactly what the social media companies want. They know most people won't take the time to read them and click agree without reading it. Social media is like a big part of your everyday life, where millions of people hang out every day. There are a lot of people who think social media is just for talking to friends, sharing pictures, and watching funny videos. But behind all the fun, there's something serious going on. The social media platforms are secretly collecting a lot of information about you. When you sign up, you give them basic info like your name and email, but they also track what you do online, like where you go, what you look at, and what you click on. They even keep an eye on who you're friends with and what you're interested in. Why do they do all this? Well, it's because of ads. The more they know about you, the better they can show you ads that you might like. The better targeted ad they show you, the more they earn. Social media mainly wants to make as much money as possible, and sometimes they don't care much about keeping your data safe. They focus more on making profits than protecting your personal information. Even Tinder's privacy policy says, you should not expect that your personal information, chats, or other communication will always remain secure. When you are scrolling social media sometime, a message pops up asking if the app can use your camera, contacts, and know your location. Without much thought, you hit allow to keep going. But here's the catch. By saying yes, you're basically giving the app access to your contacts and personal photos. Many of us do this without really thinking about it. We just want to use the app. But when we do this, we're kind of letting the app look at our private stuff. But sometimes we should stop and think before we say yes. We're basically giving away our digital lives without realizing it. In Europe, people have the right to ask social media platforms for their personal information. There was a girl who wanted to see what kind of information Tinder had about her. When she got her data from Tinder, she was really shocked. Tinder sent her 800 pages of data with her secrets. They knew about her Facebook likes, where her Instagram photos would have been if she hadn't deleted her account, her education, the age range of people she was interested in, and even how many Facebook friends she had. They recorded every online conversation she had with her matches. Reading through these pages, she felt surprised and a little guilty. She realized that Tinder knows herself more than she knows her. Tinder knows her locations, interests, jobs, pictures, music tastes, and even her favorite foods. But she wasn't alone in this. A study showed that Tinder users often share a lot of information without realizing it. Tinder even knew about the 1,700 messages she had sent since 2013. They knew about her hopes, fears, sexual preferences, and deepest secrets. It felt strange to see all of this laid out in front of her. But Tinder didn't stop there. They knew even more about her, like how often she used the app, when she used it, and which types of people she matched with the most. They could tell which words she used frequently and how much time people spent looking at her pictures before swiping. Tinder knows more about a girl than she knows about herself. This is nothing, but there is a lot more which social media knows about you, which might become dangerous for you. Have you ever thought about why social media is free? In reality, it's not.
We think of these services as free, but they are not free. We're paying for them with our attention.
Social media companies are hiring many attention engineers who are good at getting people's attention, and they're paying them a lot. Now the question is, why are they doing this? Because they want to keep you hooked on their app for as long as possible. These attention engineers are experts at designing features that grab your attention and keep you coming back for more. They know how to make the platform addictive, so you spend more time scrolling, clicking, and engaging with content. The longer you stay on the platform, the more opportunities there are for ads to be shown to you, which ultimately makes the platform more profitable for the company. So by hiring the best attention engineers, social media platforms can maximize their user engagement and revenue. Social media keeps track of everything you do online, like when you click like, share posts, or comment on them. They even know how long you spend scrolling through your feed and what videos you watch, and for how long. This information used to show you ads that they think you'll be interested in, based on what you've done before. Also, social media knows what we're searching for on Google and shows us ads related to it. They keep track of what we do online to figure out what we like. Then, they use this info to show us ads they think we'll be interested in. It's like they're guessing what we might want to buy based on what we've been looking at. So when we see ads on social media that match our Google searches, it's because they're paying attention to our every small step to what we're doing online. We always allow social media camera and microphone access, and they are taking advantage of this. They show us ads that match our interests. But sometimes it feels like they're listening too closely.
People are saying that TikTok was listening to their conversation.
I was scrolling on TikTok last night. My first 5 minutes on there, I ran across this video, and it was the exact thing I was talking to my friend about like a day before.
It can be a bit creepy, but it's just how these apps work. They listen for certain words we say, and then show us ads based on that. It's supposed to make the ads more useful to us, but it can feel like our privacy is being interrupted. So, next time you talk, remember your phone might be listening, even when you're not using it. Social media also has our camera access. If they want, they can use our mobile camera without letting us.
An app could access anything. It could turn on the audio to listen into your conversations, even if you're not using the phone. It could turn on the front or back camera to take video or pictures, and it's with you all the time, so it's really the perfect spy tool.
Even CBC News recently ran an experiment where people were asked to download a specific app. And many people didn't take the time to read the terms and conditions carefully. They just quickly clicked allow to every access. This gave the app access to their camera, microphone, and even their contact list. Now, the app can secretly use their phone's camera to take pictures without asking.
We also had access to your camera phone. What? So we were able to take a photo from your phone.
In a recent picture that went viral, Mark Zuckerberg, the guy who owns Instagram and Facebook, was seen using his laptop with covering microphone and camera with tape. Also, a Reddit user shared how Instagram is spying on him. He spent more than an hour watching highlights of someone on YouTube. Then, he got a message from Instagram saying he had a new follower. And guess who it was? Yep, it was the same person whose highlights he was just watching on YouTube. A recent study conducted by cloud storage firm Cloud has shown how much personal information social media apps share with others. They found out that Instagram is the biggest player, giving away 79% of your data to companies like advertisers. This includes things like what you search for, where you are right now, who you know, and even your financial info if you buy stuff on the app. Facebook comes in second, sharing 57% of your data with others. Facebook used to use facial recognition technology, but they stopped because people were worried about it being used to watch them without permission. This study shows how much of our private information social media apps are sharing, and it's something we should think about when we use them. Social media does more than just show you ads with your data. There's a lot more happening behind the scenes that you might not know about. Back in March 2018, there was a company called Cambridge Analytica. They were really good at figuring out what people think and feel using information from Facebook. But here's the thing. They took this info from millions of users without asking them. They did this by making quizzes and apps on Facebook that people would use, and then they secretly grabbed all the personal info those users shared. Now the question is, why did they want this info? Because they were hired by famous politician Donald Trump. Cambridge Analytica gathered lots of info, like what people like, who their friends are, and what they share online. Then, they used it to make profiles of voters, guessing what would make them like Trump. But here's the dirty secret. They didn't just focus on Trump fans. They also tried to change the minds of people who are not sure whom to vote for. They did this by showing them ads and made-up stories on social media. It was like trying to control what people think, all from behind a computer screen. When people found out what Cambridge Analytica was doing, they were really angry. They felt like their private information had been taken, and they blamed Facebook for not stopping it. Some even wondered if Trump really won the election fairly because of all this. After the Cambridge Analytica case, both Facebook and Cambridge Analytica got in trouble. They were found guilty because they didn't protect people's personal information. Facebook had to pay a big fine of $725 million because they didn't keep users' data safe. They also had to pay another $100 million because they didn't tell investors the truth about what happened. Cambridge Analytica closed down because of the scandal. They used people's data for political reasons without asking permission. This made people lose trust in them, and they had to stop working. This is just about Facebook, but TikTok is also doing this kind of thing. Even TikTok is more dangerous than Facebook and Instagram. The main issue with TikTok is the data it collects from its users. The app collects a vast amount of personal information, including location, device information, contacts, and browsing history. This data can be used to build a detailed profile of a user, which can be sold to advertisers or used for other malicious purposes. Many social media applications, such as Facebook and Instagram, also gather this type of data, and TikTok suggests the data collection is in line with industry practices. Another big concern with TikTok is its relationship with the Chinese government. Many people believe that the Chinese government has access to the app's data, and that it could be used for surveillance and other purposes. There is also one major problem. TikTok could be used as a brainwashing tool by changing the algorithm used to suggest videos depending on the location. An example of this is censoring content that is critical of the Chinese government or promoting certain politics to users. TikTok has denied these allegations, but the concerns still remain. In 2019, a study showed that 51% of the people surveyed said they were uncomfortable with being tracked by Facebook. But it's clearly great business for the company. Facebook generated $21 billion in revenue in the most recent quarter, and now has 2.5 billion members, up from 2.45 billion in the previous quarter. Social media is like a magic mirror, showing us what we want to see but sometimes hiding the truth. It knows us so well that it can influence our thoughts and actions without us even realizing it. Social media addiction is growing exponentially, not only in the United States, but worldwide. Did you know that on average, people spend almost 2 hours every day on social media? That's like spending 5 years and 4 months of your life scrolling through posts and pictures. And teenagers, they're spending nearly 9 hours a day on social media, which adds up to about 23.4 years of their lifetime. It's a lot of time spent online. But before we go any further, let's talk about what social media addiction really means. It's when you feel like you can't stop checking your phone or going online, even when you know you should take a break. With billions of people using social media, it's no wonder that millions of them feel addicted. But who's behind all of this? It's all about algorithms and artificial intelligence, fancy words for computer programs that decide what you see on your social media feed. These programs are so smart that they learn what you like and show you more of it. And guess what? They're getting better at it every day. It's like they're controlling us instead of we are controlling them. Think about it. Social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat want to keep you on their apps for as long as possible. Why? Because they make money when you're there. They're not selling you things. They're selling your attention to advertisers. It's a bit like a game, and we're the players. Ever heard the saying,
if you're not paying for the product, then you are the product?
Well, it's true for social media. Everything you do online is being watched and used to make these platforms better at keeping you hooked. They know what you like, what makes you happy, and they use that to show you more stuff you'll enjoy. But here's the thing. All of this can make us feel addicted. We keep coming back for more because these platforms know exactly what we like. It's like they're playing with our minds. Social media is a big part of our lives, especially for young people. It can make us feel like we need to be perfect and get lots of likes and comments to feel good about ourselves. but spending too much time on social media can make us feel sad and anxious. Researchers have seen more and more young people feeling depressed and even hurting themselves because of social media. Now to come to the main problem, what to do from not spying on social media. Well, there is no exact solution. But there are simple things you can do to protect yourself. First, you can turn off the internet on your devices when you're not using them. This stops them from gathering data when you're not online. Second, try not to keep your phone with you during personal conversations or family time. This way, you can have private moments without the risk of being watched. Lastly, check the permissions in your social media apps and turn off any that you don't need. This helps limit the amount of information these apps can gather about you. By doing these things, you can feel safer and more in control of your privacy when using social media. Wait, before you go, let's think about something. Have you noticed why social media always seems to have a dark side? And have you heard about the secrets of OnlyFans? Click the right side of your video and watch.